Welcome back. This review, as always, is an excerpt from my podcast, which is called Switchcraft, your source for Nintendo news 3 days a week. On every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, you can expect to find more Nintendo Switch news than you can shake a stick at in your podcast feed. If you just head on over to runjumpstomp.com and subscribe there, or just search for Switchcraft in your favorite podcatcher. All right, let's jump in to this review. So since the last episode, I've been playing two games mostly. One of them has been Yono and the Celestial Elephants. And this is a game that is a lot like traditional Zelda games, not like Breath of the Wild. It has a top-down, kind of a three-quarters isometric view, and you play as an elephant, and the world has not seen elephants in a really long time, and they're supposed to be harbingers of peace and good stuff like that. And let's just get right into the good, the bad, and the broken. When I was playing this game, the things that I noticed, and my son was kind of watching me the other day, and he told me the first thing that he said is, he goes, "Man, this reminds me of Skylanders." And I didn't really see that same, because Skylanders is really more like a Gauntlet-style game than a Zelda-style game. But as I was playing it, he was looking at it, and he said, did the person who made, because he's 9, so he seems to think that like one person made all of these games, or made a game by themselves. And he said, did the same person who made Zelda make Yono? And I said, no, what makes you say that? He goes, well, there's a lot of things that are similar, like you're breaking pots and things like that, and you got to step on a platform in order to change the puzzles. So he immediately made the connection that it kind of looked like a Zelda game. And I mean, in fact, it's so much like a Zelda game that you can unlock costumes at like a store for your character, not for real money, for in-game currency. And one of the costumes that you unlock looks like Link's stuff, the green gear with the hood and stuff. Some of the puzzles were pretty fun to figure out, and I feel like that this is a game that would be a good challenge for younger kids. But there's definitely some issues with it. The characters, when I'm looking at especially Yono, I feel like the shading on him doesn't really land, and so it almost makes him feel like he's not part of the world that he's walking around in. Same thing with his character animation. It doesn't feel like there's any weight to it, and the music and the sound effects are all just kind of dull, and honestly, I really don't like the music in the game at all. And the combat in the game that I did experience is pretty boring. Now, the game is not about combat, so that's fine, but I think it would be better if it's just going to be only, if it's going to be not fun combat, then just take the combat out entirely and just make the game only about the puzzles. And I think that would be better. Basically, I just found the combat to be dull. So we've got the good, we've got the bad, now the broken. This is really weird, and I've never had this experience on any other game, but if I am using my Pro Controller and I start the game, my Pro Controller will unpair from my Switch. And so now it won't connect anymore, and so then I got to take the Joy-Cons off, reconnect go back to the home screen, repair my Pro Controller to the Switch, and then try and get back into the game. It loses its connection again. And it only happens with Yono and the Celestial Elephant. So there's definitely some issues on this. If you've got young kids that are playing the Switch, I would say, probably somewhere between 7 and 11. I think that they would probably enjoy the game. But for me, it's a pass. And I didn't enjoy it very much. It's not a bad game. It's just not for me. And I think that it's not supposed to be for me. I think it's supposed to be for younger kids. And I didn't really understand that when I first saw it. So, hopefully they can fix some of the issues that I've noticed, and especially the Pro Controller issue. But right now, I would say hold off on this game.